Hi, my name is Dr. Dylesia, and I am a licensed therapist who specializes in teaching women with absent, abusive, neglectful, and spiritually manipulative moms how to live a full life. I'm back with another episode of Ask Dr. Dylesia. This is a special Mother's Day edition. If you are wondering what is going on here, I want you to go check out the first episode of this Ask Dr. Dylesia marathon that we've been doing for Mother's Day. In this episode, we'll be covering 2 follower submissions, and we're going to roll the footage on the first one, which is a woman who's been guilt-tripped by her family into caretaking her elderly alcoholic mom. I first realized my mom was an alcoholic when I was in elementary school. She'd show up to events drunk or not at all, and other kids would joke on her. I have very few memories of her that don't include slurred, nonsensical speech, her swaying side to side, and a drink in her hand. Now that she's older, the effects of her long time drinking are showing. She's barely recognizable, talks to herself a lot, and says the same things over and over again. For decades, I've told my dad and siblings that mom's drinking was a problem, but she'd cry, scream for me to stop, or point out some issue I have as if it was equal to her alcoholism. She had a pretty nasty fall 2 months ago, and now they're asking me to move into her house or move her into mine, since I have a more stable job and flexible schedule than everyone else involved. I hate to say I'm considering it. Even though everyone else has enabled her, maybe I haven't done enough. I can't shake that agonizing feeling that her health issues are my fault. Girl, no ma'am. No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. This is not your problem, and it certainly is not your fault. So I want you to go look up family scapegoat. That is essentially what's happening to you here. The most self-aware person in a family often becomes a family hero, and it's because they fall for the scapegoating. Scapegoating is being held responsible for the family's problems, blamed for all the issues that go on. And I see it happen a lot because other family members are afraid of their own inadequacy. They're afraid that they don't have what it takes to solve the problem. They're afraid of asking for help. So what they do instead is to manipulate this person who they know is fully capable into believing that they have done something wrong to cause this issue. Then that person naturally responds and goes into action, solving the problem, and then the people who blame them are off the hook. They never have to admit that they were afraid. No one ever has to notice that they didn't have the skill set. They never even have to acknowledge that you were right all along. All they have to do is convince you that you somehow caused this, and then you'll handle it. And that's the cycle that I need you to break. You have always responded to your family. You have always responded to your friends. You've always responded to your partners. There's this cycle, I'm sure, and I don't know you, but I know. There's this cycle of you always being the go-to person. And it's because people have caused you to think that something about you is making problems happen. I want you to work with a therapist. I want you to process how this scapegoat identity is showing up and swallowing who you actually are. And I want you to work on becoming you. I want you to be irresponsible for once, because this is not your responsibility. And the way that we do that is for you to figure out what you can and cannot do regarding this situation. So no, we are not gonna move mom into your house. No, you are not moving into mom's house. But there might be something that you're willing to do. Maybe it's to call around to nursing homes or assisted living facilities and see where your mom could get a placement at. Maybe it's to call around to caregiver organizations and figure out how much it costs to get someone to come in and watch your mom for a few hours a day while she's up and about in the house. Maybe it's to donate a small percentage of money that does not make you uncomfortable and make you unable to pay your bills to the cause of helping your mom around the house. But whatever it is, you need to set clear parameters and make sure that it's something that does not take you so far out of your comfort zone that it is you taking on the responsibility of this issue. Come here. You will help, but you will not be the help. You hear me? It seems to me that most girls and women call their mothers first whenever they have a problem. For me, it has always been the opposite. I hide as much as I can from her because every time I show a vulnerable spot, she later uses it to mock me. She's detached, indifferent, and just cold. I grew up thinking it was normal to have a mom who you felt was distant and fake, but I've overheard enough of my peers and colleagues talk about their moms to realize that's either not true or everyone's over-exaggerating. I've never really felt close to anyone, especially my mom. Every time I interact with another woman, I see
how different they are compared to me. Even when it feels like we get along well, I get this sense that they think I'm weird. I've tried different hairstyles and clothes, wearing makeup, and doing other things like carrying a purse or compact mirror to seem more girly and approachable. But it feels like no matter what I do, I will never be like other women.
Now, you didn't say this in the submission, so it wasn't included in the voiceover, although it is on the cover page that people might see on TikTok or Instagram. But your mom adopted you, and I just want to say I'm sorry. It hurts me to my core that someone would adopt you and then mistreat you. That you were already given away. And, I know the rejection that comes from that, even if it was a good decision because your mom was unable to care for you, you still feel rejected. And then someone who was supposed to come and be a balm for that initial rejection is rejecting you. I am so sorry. In regard to you feeling like a fish out of water when you're around other women, and I had a client recently explain it so perfectly, feeling like a string bean in a bowl of lettuce. I thought that was an amazing visual. In regard to that, I want you to know that womanhood is not a costume. It's what you define it as. There are qualities that women have, such as being motherly, being affectionate, being a culture shifter, a culture setter, a homemaker, whether that be at her job or even in her own house. There are different things that are associated with the act of being a woman. You have to decide which of those qualities and characteristics, and there is a long list of them, which of those you feel most inclined to do and how you can do them in ways that are genuine to who you are. So if you follow me for a while, you know I am a cook. I love to cook for my family. That doesn't mean that every woman does. However, that does not mean that the family cannot eat healthy, right? So if I'm adopting my homemaker identity, I'm being affectionate and caring about what my family consumes. That doesn't mean that I have to cook everything from scratch like Dylesia does. It might mean that if we are eating out, that I'm ensuring we're doing it from places that are using healthy ingredients in what they're cooking. I am crafting the menu of what we're gonna eat out in a way that makes sure that the people in my household are going to be healthy and not suffer from disease. So I say that to say that each of the qualities that make up what a woman is can be approached in a different way. There are different manifestations, so to say, of each characteristic. If you do this, I think you'll find yourself more aligned with being a woman, feeling like a woman, and even being able to align with women around you. I may not carry a purse, but as a mother of myself, I might want to make sure that I have everything I need. I might want to make sure that I have more than what I need so that I can meet the needs of those around me who are women. So maybe that means I keep sanitary napkins in a book bag. Maybe that means that I have a small Ziploc bag in my filing cabinet in my office so that if any of my coworkers who are females need something that's feminine hygiene related, I can grab it there. But I don't have to wear a purse to do that. So that's what I want you to know, is that you can walk out womanhood without it being something that feels like you're not being yourself. Additionally, one of the ways that you heal from the trauma of growing up in an environment like the one that you described is by being in community with other women. It's my spiritual perception that the devil is trying to stop you from that by making you feel like you don't belong. That's why I've given you a strategy to increase your belongingness by making sure you are being authentic in the way that you express your womanhood. And I hope that can help you find women who are more like you, and even maybe go back and reconsider how you have categorized some of the women that you have found yourself in the company of in the past. Community is going to be pivotal to your healing journey, and it is an attack of the enemy to make sure that you are not in community so that you never heal. And the way that you're going to do that is to first figure out how you want to act out womanhood, and then to go find some girlfriends.